Okay, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח. The subject of the shiur, apple and honey on Rosh Hashana. So, the Gemara, we have two Gemarot that there Hazal explained to us the simanim. Simanim is a symbol that we have to eat in Rosh Hashana. And Hazal tell us first of all in the Gemara of Horayot, Daf Yud Bet Amud Aleph, and then Hazal tell us in Masechet Kiritut, Daf Vav Amud Aleph. There they tell us the symbol. And they say to us that there is certain fruit and there is certain vegetables that on Rosh Hashanah Eve we have to say brocha on them. But they didn't mention apple. The Maran Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, I mentioned his name, he born in the city of Toledo, Rabotai. He born 531 years ago in Spain. Maran Abet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo. And he, Shulchan Aruch, in Taf Kuf Pei Gimel Saif Aleph, that's mean 583. Saif Aleph, that's mean not chapter 1, verse 1. Verse 1. He'd say, Yehe Adam Ragil Le'echol B'Rosh Hashana. But he doesn't mention again apple and honey. So, become confusing here. Where is it came? The Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isserlich. Rabbi Moshe Isserlich born in the city of Krakow in Poland. He born 490 years ago. And he said, and he bring in a Mishnah Brura, the Mishnah Brura quote him, he bring him, and he said like this, that the minhag also to eat in Rosh Hashanah, you know what, let me read it for now. Let me read it for you. Agaha. Yesh noagim. It means that the custom. There is certain people that's their custom. He doesn't say that it's an obligation. Le'echol tapuach matok bidvash. Who is he got it from? From the Tur. Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. You remember we explained. And he bring the Tur that said that there is a custom that on Rosh Hashanah we should eat apple dipped in honey. Okay, so the Mefarshim say now, become immediately a big question. Where is that situation become? How does it work? Where is the apple dipped in honey come in Rosh Hashanah? And why dafka apple dipped in honey? We have to understand. So, today I was sitting, I forgot to welcome my rabbi, Rabbi Avraham. Remember all the time tell you my rabbi, that's my rabbi. Here he's sitting in the front of you, Rabbi Avraham Levy. He given me an honor. That's the second time that he come to listen to me instead of me listen to him.
Checking you out.
So, yeah, it's checking me out.
That honorable rabbi's got a great student.
A great student, yeah.
Taught him well.
Taught him well. He understands English, by the way. So let me tell you, today I have the privilege, we were sitting and we was doing we were studying together. And he mentioned to me about Rabbi Tzadok Aluvlin, nachon Rav? And he said to me that it's the yortzeit of Rabbi Tzadok Aluvlin, and he hear that a person that mentioned him, I'll say something in the name of him, it's a good segula, it's a good blessing. As Baruch Hashem, it's happened, and I said to him, here, this is the shiur for today. And I mentioned. So just to give you a bit of a background about Rav Avram. Rav Avram is a mot. Mot, it's Moreh Tzedek. That means he's one of the important dayanim for Shas in Israel. And he lived in Modi'in Elit, in Kiryat Sefer, he's one of the important rabbonim there, one of the big poskim there. And one of his speciality, one of the best speciality that I'm doing with the rabbi now, it's mar'ot. Mar'ot is mainly for the youngsters, you know what I'm talking about, mar'ot. Anyone understand? No. It's when the youngsters, when they have the cycle, the young woman, and they want to show if it's tameh or not tameh, tahor, lo tahor. That's its speciality, one of these specialities. So I have the privilege and the honor of standing with one of the greatest rabbi in Israel. So just understand who's sitting here. So, now I introduce my rabbi, ברוכים הבאים. תודה שאתה נמצא איתנו. תפוח. What is תפוח? תפוח is an apple. Why do we eat דווקא apple? So, Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen מלובלין, he born in a city of Lublin in Poland. He born around 196 years ago. And listen what he said. He said that there is something very special about the apple. And listen to that. And he said like this, that the fruit and a tree of the apple, you know what grow first? The apple grow before the leaves. Did you know that? Not in any other tree. Listen to that. And he said that there is something very important. The apple represents the Jewish people. How does it represent the Jewish people? The Bnei Israel. He said because Bnei Israel, when they, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Midrash tell us that he approached all the other nations, and he wanted to give them the Torah. What did the other nations say? What is it written on it? When they came to the Jewish people, what did the Jewish people say? First they say Naaseh, and then Nishma. First we'll do, then we'll listen. He said that's the same with the apple, with the tree of apple. First come the fruit, then come the leaves. Okay, so that represent and symbol the Jewish people. That's why we're eating, remember, according to Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen מלובלין, the apple. Another important thing about the apple, that the tree of apple that not many people know, I'm sure that most of you know, that you know that there is in a tree of apple more fruit than leaves. The tree of apple, there is more fruit on it than leaves. When usually on any other tree fruit, there is more leaf than fruit. A different. That's the Jewish people. So we understand that the apple come to symbol the Jewish people. Remember that. Okay? The honey. Where is the honey suddenly came? So to understand that, I have to go to the Gemara in Masechet Bechorot. The Gemara in Masechet Bechorot in page 5, folio 2, Hazal tell us. And they bring us the principle. Kol hayotze min hatameh, tameh. Everyone understand me? I will explain. Everything that came out from something that it's not kosher, we can't use it. For example, if a camel can bring milk, נכון? We can't have the camel's milk. Funny, today in breakfast we spoke about Halav Israel, me and the rabbi. Camel, we can have milk. A dog, give milk, נכון? A pig, להבדיל, give milk. We're not allowed to drink it. Whatever comes from something that we're not allowed to eat, we can't drink from it. Hazal come and tell us, in that case, the question is, we know that the bee, Hazal explained, it's kind of a fly. Okay? Insect. That kind of a fly, we're not allowed to eat it. It's tameh. נכון? The question becomes, how come that we're allowed to eat the honey that come from the bee? To answer that, we have to go to the Rambam. The Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. He born in the city of Cordova in Spain. He born 830 years ago, plus minus. That's the Rambam. And in Hilchot Ma'achalot Asurot, in the law of forbidden food, in chapter 3, law number 1, he explained that the bee that make the honey, how did she make the honey? He explained that the bees flying from flower to any other trees and collect the pollen and collect the special powder that there is, and she eat it, and then she swallow it, but not to the stomach, on the side of her stomach there is another special sac, and there it gets cooked. And when it's ready, she go to the hive and take the honey out from that sac. So that means it didn't penetrate to where? To the stomach. It's from a different size sac. You know how much honey a bee make in a lifetime? A teaspoon. A bee can make a teaspoon of honey in all her life. That's it. Finished. That's the Rambam. So say the Rambam, from here we learn that the honey is kosher. Why? Because it didn't mix inside the stomach of the bee. Okay? So now we understand, number one, that the honey is kosher. Come Rabbi Tzadok, a Kohen Miluvlin, and he explained, what is the connection of the honey? What is the honey come to tell us? He said the honey that we eat in Rosh Hashana, it's our holy Torah. Because the Torah is so holy and so sweet, the same like a honey. So what are we doing? We, the Jewish people that receive the Torah, we assemble to the apple. What do we have to eat? Something sweet. What is that? Something that's going to remind us the Torah. And that's the honey. Okay? And that's why we eat basically on pshat of the dvarim, apple dipped in honey. Until here we all understand? Okay. Can I do with you something a bit more heavier on a different, how you call it, in a different aspect to look at the apple dipped in honey? A bit more deep? Would you mind? Sure. Let's go to the Gemara. Now Masechet Kritot. Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Kritot in page 5, folio 2. Listen what Hazal say. Hazal tell us, כל תענית שאין בה מפושעי ישראל אינה תענית. נכון הרב? בעל פה הרב יודע. הרב יודע הכל. You think that he doesn't. He watching me. So I have to be very careful. I prepared that show. So Hazal tell us that every ta'anit, what is ta'anit? Everyone understand what is a ta'anit? A fast. Any fast that we fasting, if there is Jewish people that didn't sin, that ta'anit doesn't consider ta'anit. Have to be miposhai Israel, people that sin. And I tell you, we all born with the evil inclination. From the day that we born to the day that we die. Funny enough, today we were speaking, I have a bit of time to speak, we will spend with my rabbi. You remember here in the show, a few of you was asking me a number of times, I don't know which one, Philip or Brian, I don't remember who asked me, about the relationship of man and man. Remember we spoke sometime? And woman and woman. And I have a book in my house, and I didn't see it until the rabbi showed me in the books. It said there is explanation that brought by Harav Zamir Cohen. How come that there is people, male, that have attraction to another male? That's halachically explanation how he explained it. And then attraction of a woman that attract to another woman. נכון הרב? דיברנו על זה? So, what I'm trying to say is, in our Torah there is everything. So please God, I'll prepare a show to answer those questions that I couldn't answer you. So now let's go back to where we are. So Hazal explained to us, ta'anit, every ta'anit, she'en ba mipושעי Israel, a person that didn't sin, it's not ta'anit. But that can never happen, because Hazal already tell us, אין צדיק בארץ אשר יעשה טוב ולא יחטא. There is no such thing, that a righteous man that live in this earth and will never sin. There's no such thing. Why? Because we're born with Yetzer Hara and will die with Yetzer Hara. He doesn't leave us. When you think that he's sleeping, he's awake. He's all the time waiting for us. So the Mefarshim explain like this. The Mefarshim explain that the connection between the apple and the honey. We know, we got to conclusion that the bee is not a kosher animal. You agree with me? But the honey that comes from it, it's kosher. You all agree with me? Okay. We say that the Jewish people on a deeper mind, compare now, we have to explain what is the honey compared to the Jewish. So we say that the Jewish people, who they assemble? No, help me. The apple, נכון? The honey, נכון? The honey, the Torah. It's come to tell us While we said that the bee symbol who? The tameh. That's the averot. How does it connect to us? Rabotai, all year around, we're underneath pressure, we're underneath a lot of influence, a lot of things that are happening. We have the internet, we have everything that's running around us. And there's a lot of pressure on us. And we do averot. And the averot symbol the bee. But the honey symbol who? The Jewish people. Come to tell us that sometimes you see that the Jewish people sin. But that's not our personality, that's not our character trait. It's come to tell us by eating apple dipped in honey, that we the Jewish people eat honey, sorry about that, that is our character trait as a Jewish people. We got a neshama that came down from heaven, okay? The holy neshama. But sometimes because the influence of the outside, the nation, whatever we see, we do averot. And that's the bee. What is the connection? How does it fit together? That means that the Yetzer Hara, that's the bee, come and seduce us to do averot during the year. But our personality, our character trait is good. And that's the honey. And what's the connection now to Rosh Hashana? So the Mefarshim explain like this. In Rosh Hashana, it's come to tell us, by that you're eating apple dipped in honey, that don't think because you've done averot during the year, you lost your hope. Remember last week we explained in Rosh Hashana, everyone get judged. You remember in the show? And the first day it's tzaddikim. Yamakashia, we explained that day it's very, very difficult. And the second day is the Benonim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu done Hesed with us. You remember we explained that he judged us on the second day. It's come to tell us that you, the Jewish people, come from a special root. That you have a soul came down from heaven. Even that you sin during the year and you done averot, you didn't lose hope. You do tshuva on Rosh Hashana, you're going back to where? Back to your true personality and the character trait of good, because you have a special neshama as Jews. So Hazal come to tell us that when we eat apple dipped in honey rabota in Rosh Hashana, it's come to remind us that in Rosh Hashana, if we do tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write us to another year. Because in Rosh Hashana, each one of us here get born again. You remember our friend Moti Zichrono Livracha that been with us for many years? I'm missing him. נשמתו תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, אשר יהיה לעילוי נשמתו. We forget to mention him, מרדכי בן רחמה. He was foundation member of that show. Very important. We don't know who's going to live or not. Every one of us born in Rosh Hashana. You do tshuva in Rosh Hashana, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write and will seal all of you, all of us here, to Chaim Tovim u'Leshalom. That's what the apple dipped in honey come to tell us. But Rabotai, I repeat again, the secret of Rosh Hashanah, le'amlich et HaKadosh Baruch Hu alem. That means to crown the Almighty on us. You remember we explained that the mitzvot that you do, whatever you do, I don't care. It's not because I'm afraid. I'm doing it for the sake of heaven. Every mitzvah. By that you're saying it, that you crowning the Almighty on us, He's the Almighty, He's the King, that's the remedy. Not to be guilty in Rosh Hashanah, to be found unguilty. And that's what can do atonement to all our sin. And we explained the three things. We brought the sources, u'tzedakah, u'tfilah. You remember? What's happened? You all? No? u'tzedakah, u'tfilah, u'tshuva, ma'avirim, Torah gzera. You remember? All of that come to tell us in Rosh Hashanah, Rabotai, that those symbols, it's to wake us up try to do tshuva. And why dafka at night? Because on Rosh Hashana day, to remind you to do the tshuva. Because what is the most important? What is the mitzvah ta'aseh of Rosh Hashanah? Blowing the shofar. When we blow the shofar, when the Baal Tkiyah blow the shofar, and you have in your mind that you're crying the Almighty on you, and you're saying, remember what we explained that the Rambam say, Hatati, Aviti, Pashati, that you say that, and you ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for forgiveness, what else? And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write all of you, and your family, and all Amo Yisrael, B'chol Makom Shehem, לחיים טובים ולשלום, a life of, not only life, to write us for life, for good life, a life full of health, a full of wealth, a full of peace, a full of everything, and all the brachot הכתובות בתורה. אמן כן יהיה רצון.
אמן.